Welcome back to the KIMI KATO show. We went out with Christmas Eve by Tatsuro Yamashita and came back with Baby Santa Claus by Yumi Matsutoya, another very popular traditional Christmas song in Japan. So, as you may have noticed, we are talking about Christmas today on our show. And just quickly, before we go into Kentucky Fried Chicken, Christmas, how did it come to Japan? Because, we are originally from like Buddhist, like Shinto. It has nothing to do with Christian, right? Christianity. Christmas is said to have been first introduced to Japan in 1549 by the missionaries led by Francis Xavier during the initial spread of Christianity in the country. Some say that the history of Christmas in Japan began in 1552. There's various theories, but it's the missionaries that brought Christianity to Japan to spread Christianity in Japan. There were it was growing. There was there were a few Japanese Christians that celebrated Christmas Mass in the 16th century. However, this practice was limited to small Christian communities in Japan because during the Edo period from 1603 to 1868, Christianity was banned. People were executed if you were found to be believing Christianity. You had to step on Jesus to show that you were not. Otherwise, you were executed. It's a crazy time, you know. It was all about samurais and shoguns and all that. So Christmas began, but no, many years after that, Christmas began to gain wider recognition in Japan during the Meiji era, which is between 1868, so the 19th century, right? Um, Meiji, a store that was founded in Yokohama, opened a branch in Ginza and began selling Christmas-related products in the early 1900s. This marked the beginning of Christmas becoming more widely accepted in Japan. So people probably didn't know what it was, what it was about, but it was like, okay, it sounds fun and great. And then in 1912, a song by Kinoshita Rigen was released with lyrics mentioning Meiji's Christmas decorations shine as the powdery snow begins to fall. So that was in the lyrics. This shows the dazzling illuminations were already starting to adorn the streets of Japan at that time, early, like 20th century. On December 25th, 1926, Taisho Emperor passed away. Now, what has this got to do with Christmas? Basically, what happened was December 25th was designated as the Taisho Emperor Memorial Day, which became a national holiday. So 25th of December became a national holiday. So that kind of contributed to the spread of Christmas customs. It had nothing to do with emperor, but it just began to, as the Western culture comes into Japan, 25th of December is a national holiday. It's Christmas, right?
Hmm.
Uh, and then, but then,
Interesting.
yeah, but then, unfortunately, that didn't last long. From 1928, between 1927 to 1947, post-war, Christmas was considered public holiday for 21 years, but it wasn't because of Christmas. But then, the emperor changes and the national holiday changes. That no longer became the national holiday. And in 1950, during the baby boom generation, the number of children exploded in Japan. And um, for FYI, our population peaked in 2008 with 128 million, but since then, population had been gradually declining. But by late 19th century, people started to celebrate Christmas as a secular commercial holiday rather than a religious one. So, particularly amongst urban community, urban population, over time it then evolved into a cultural celebration uh, that you see in Japan today. It's very festive, and about the Christmas cake that I was talking about with the sponge cake with strawberries and whipped cream on top. It was created by a renowned Japanese confectionery company established in 1910 called Fujiya. It's a very famous confectionery um, company, and it still exists. uh, they're known for wide arrays of sweets and baked goods and candies and Peko-chan mascot. Um, in addition, yeah, anyways, they created the prototype of the unique Japanese Christmas cake, which is now a huge tradition. Everybody, all the cake companies or the sweet stores would sell Christmas cake as that Christmas cake, which is a white Christmas whipped cream, cherry, not cherry on top, strawberries on top. And it's a massive Christmas retail competition amongst department stores. Intense, anyways. So that kind of became firmly established in Japan. Now, going into KFC, why is it such a big deal during Christmas in Japan?
Thought you would
So,
never get there.
no, I was going to get there. I'm going to keep teasing you.
Because
So,
does this show come with a bucket of chicken?
I hope no, unfortunately not. You can order it on Uber if you want, Uber Eats. The famous Japanese tradition of Christmas ni wa Kentucky or or Christmas Kentucky for Christmas. This is a thing in Japan. Chicken dishes have become a standard part of Christmas celebration, a custom that is not found in the United States. The tradition is said to have originated from a major marketing campaign by Kentucky Fried Chicken that began in the 70s, right around when I was born. Since the mid 80s, life-sized, the life-size Colonel Sanders, dressed as Santa, was displayed in front of KFC's stores throughout Japan during the Christmas season. And starting on December 23rd, lines form in front of the stores as people queue up to buy the party barrel meal. So the history of chicken becoming a staple for Christmas in Japan goes back to the post-World War II during the period when rapid economic growth, Japan's economic growth grew rapidly, like the bubble, the city pop thing. This is all related to how, for the first time, people had the financial freedom to immerse themselves into consumer culture. So at that time, in the United States was a cultural powerhouse for Western fashion, food, overseas travel, for everything, and that attracted immense interest. And according to a documentary from 1981, the first Kentucky Fried Chicken store in Japan opened in 1970 in Nagoya. The number of stores continued to grow, and then no, I think 30 new locations opened each year, and by 1981, the chain expanded to over 300, and there's now currently 1,200 KFC stores in Japan. But anyways, Christmas in Japan, both then and now, have been like a secular event with little connection to religion, because the percentage of Christian in Japan is less than 1%. But but KFC saw this as an opportunity. And in 1974, the company launches its Kentucky for Christmas campaign. And as soon as this was introduced, they introduced
Brilliant.
the party barrel and the set menu. So, according to some reports, KFC Japan promoted the idea that chicken was a traditional American Christmas dish,
Close.
turkey, right? In order to promote and boost sales, because I don't think Japan was accustomed to turkey. It's more to eating turkey. It's more about chicken. So there are various theories of why KFC in Japan became hugely popular. But one thing I can say that is that KFC rolls out a massive TV campaign every year during the Christmas season. You see TV commercials of Christmas with you should buy a Christmas chicken at the KFC. And I think, and it's really good. Just so you know, KFC in Japan is really good. I think you definitely should try it. But KFC managed to capture the hearts of the Japanese people and created a national phenomenon that goes on for over 40 years now. So in
That's
the 70s,
amazing.
right?
That's
Almost 50.
amazing.
I mean, I'm saying no, 50 years. So I'm saying half a century. This has been the tradition of Japan. So during the 70s and 80s, commercial aired, and it still does. You know, every year, it's you know they boost campaign, and you see these commercial featuring families enjoying fried chicken to the tune of the song "My Old Kentucky Home." Oh my God, like positioning KFC as the place for an elegant, authentic American style Christmas.
So you could take your date and a bucket of chicken to the
Yeah,
park with a blanket,
yeah,
and there you go.
right. So
Now,
anyone who
does it come with stuffing and cranberry sauce
no,
and all
no,
that?
no, no, no,
No?
it's just regular Kentucky Fried Chicken. Nothing. Yep.
That's
So
awesome.
anyone who grew up in the US knows that My Old Kentucky Home, that song, is not a Christmas song. But
Yeah.
that song was used when they were doing that campaign. But th this campaign was so well done. I think it linked fried chicken and Christmas and the idea of consuming luxurious food at Christmas. I don't know. I
So,
mean, it's
Timmy,
yes.
you say Japanese aren't, they don't eat a lot of turkey, or they're not as accustomed to eating turkey. So
Mm-mm.
then
Yeah,
you got the chicken. So great. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Perfect. What do you prefer? Chicken or turkey?
chicken.
Chicken.
Yeah, yep.
I
Yeah, I
think I
love.
do
Yeah.
too. I think I do too.
So I think these like TV commercials really kind of because that was the only media really, wasn't there? During the
Yeah.
70s, 80s, you didn't have internet. So what you saw on television was everything.
Hmm.
So if Kentucky Fried Chicken was the thing, like that was the thing in America, oh shit, you know, like that's probably is the thing. So that became like Kentucky for Christmas. It became, I don't think it would have been successful without the TV media. I think they put in a significant investment in advertising, but now people pre-order KFC Christmas bucket week in advance because you don't
I
want to
wonder
miss
if
it.
they've ever tried that here to switch people from turkey to KFC buckets. For
They probably should,
should, huh?
because
Anybody out there
that's
listening from KFC, that's a great marketing idea. I love it.
it's a marketing campaign that turned into a national holiday tradition. So I think it's pretty genius that KFC did that because that's been going on for over 50 years now, right? Um, but yes, I think we should take a quick break on that
Have you
note.
been have you been in Japan during Christmas? I know
Yes,
you lived in the
yeah,
UK
yeah,
and LA,
yes,
and
yes.
you have been. Did you have
For over 20 years,
was that
yes.
a tradition for you to also go get a bucket of KFC for Christmas?
It made you do it. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like we because our family was all over the place. It was difficult to for everyone to gather at the same time. But even if I was with my parents would go buy a Kentucky Fried Chicken because we grew up in England. You don't
Hmm.
go buy Kentucky Fried Chicken for Christmas. You kind of cook yourself a roast chicken or even turkey. But um, yes, when I was when I left home and I was working. I did buy Kentucky Fried Chicken. It made you think that was the thing. You kind of
Sorry to
like
put you on the spot, but I just
no,
wanted to know if you,
but at the same time, I'm a big fan of KFC. It's
yeah,
really good in Japan, especially. I love
it
it.
is.
But
KFC is good. I was
yeah,
just telling you, I was just thinking about it yesterday, and I was thinking I really wanted some. I was like craving it. I can't I
yeah.
In Santa Barbara, they're not, there's one store, I think, but LA, there are quite a few more. Well, what are we going to listen to going to break, Kimmy?
Yes, we are going to listen to a song called Christmas Carol no Koro ni wa by Junichi Inagaki. It's another big Christmas song in Japan. Don't go away. You're listening to the KIMI Show with Jeremiah.